sad and tragic things happening around the world right now, but nothing has saddened me as much as this story. The little baby eaglet born to that magnificent pair of white-breasted sea eagles that were nesting just next to Sydney Olympic Park at Homebush. The little baby died over the weekend. It's very sad news. As you know, I'm an absolute sook when it comes to this, but we've been following it quite closely and watching it. There was a webcam set up so that you could watch the progress of this dear little fluffy baby eaglet and watch its magnificent parents come and go and feed it and rear it. There were 2 eggs in the nest. Only one hatched. The other egg failed to hatch. And now the little baby has died. Judy Harrington joins us now. She is from the... what is the name of the place again, Judy? The BirdLife Information Discovery Centre there at Newington, just near the Olympic Park. Judy, this is just tragic news, isn't it?
Oh, you are a sook, Angela, but yes, it is. It's very sad.
And is there any idea at all about why the baby died?
We were able to retrieve its body the morning after it died, and we've taken it to the local animal referral hospital, which has very kindly had a good look for us. There's nothing obviously like a fish hook or anything like that has killed it. Nothing obvious. We suspect something physical, but more tests need to be done.
What did you say? You suspect something physical?
Well, I'm not sure. There might be a slight obstruction or a deformity of some kind. I suspect there's also levels of chemicals in its little body from its environment, but we won't know that for some weeks until we have more toxicology tests done on it.
Yes, and so you've been watching it on the webcam, Judy, and you noticed that it wasn't very well. Is that right?
Yes, we thought so. It was growing. It seemed to be growing. It was getting its its first real feathers through, losing that cute chicken, getting that daggy sort of teenager more look. But it seemed to be having great difficulty in swallowing. We thought there was an issue, and we were watching and observing, as is our protocol.
And then, were you watching when it died, or was it dark when it died?
I was actually. It was just sitting there and looking, really miserable, and then it just sort of toppled over and died. Very upsetting.
And how old was it, Judy?
Just 4 weeks now, around about 4 weeks. So it wasn't little white and fluffy. It had grown considerably. As I said, little what's called pin feathers, little dark feathers starting to show through, and losing that cute sort of baby
downy look. Yes, I know what you mean. And so, Judy, I understand there's been a bit of an outcry that you should have intervened when you looked at it, when you knew that it was sick, that you should have somehow or other plucked it from the nest and cared for it by hand. But that's not your policy, is it?
It's not our policy. After great thought and consideration and consulting with our BirdLife team, with Sydney Olympic Park ecology staff, and also with national parks, as it's in a nature reserve, our policy has been non-intervention. It's hard, but we've believed to observe and basically let nature take its course.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair enough. But once you had seen that the baby had died, you went in and retrieved its little body so you could find out the cause of its death, yes?
That's correct, because we can learn a lot from what we find, what we observe. People might argue that the other year, 2 years ago, we did intervene and rescue 2 much older eaglets on the nest, but they were older birds, and they were very much tangled in fishing line and a hook, which was very much man's cause. So we felt ethically that we had the right to intercede at that stage. This is a much younger bird, and the parents even very, very likely to abandon it completely. So that's our policy, and that's what we stuck by.
Yes, it seems such a shame, doesn't it? It was going quite well there for a while, and I know many of the listeners were watching it on the EagleCAM. So one of the eggs failed to hatch, but this little baby seemed to be going quite well for a while. Has there been an outpouring of grief on the website?
Absolutely. Outpourings of grief, questions, why. We'll keep people informed as soon as we learn something more constructive. We may never know. But we'll keep people informed. Yes, everybody's very sad.
Yeah.
But in the wild, of course, this kind of thing would happen very often. Otherwise, we'd be overrun by sea eagles. That's right.
Well, that's right. But it is in the wild, isn't it? It's just that we were able to watch it all because you'd kindly set up a webcam so we could actually watch the wild. So the parents will leave that nest now, won't they?
No, they've been hanging around a little. They've certainly been heard calling nearby. They have brought a little food back to the nest. They may nest again. We simply don't know. It's probably unlikely, but they'll certainly remain in the area and I assume use the nest or another very close by again next year. That's their way. That's their territory. That's what we're watching.
And so have they successfully raised other eaglets?
They have. We've been watching them for 5 or 6 years now. They've produced 1 or 2 young for several years before last year. So going on the averages out there in the wild, they've actually done very well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's good to hear. Judy, there had been reports from some of our listeners that they were being played TUE over some kind of speaker. Is that true?
Nearby, in a nearby wetland, is a radio tower, and there are times we have, in fact, picked up the radio through the cameras, which, with all due respect to TUE, stuffs up our recorders somewhat.
Right. I just hope we didn't have anything to do with the demise of the poor baby eagle.
Absolutely not. No, of course.
Thank heavens. Well, it's a very sad thing. I know a lot of the listeners are very sad about it. Judy, thank you so much again for your time and all the best.
And thank you for your care and your interest.
All the best, Judy. Bye-bye now. Judy Harrington from the BirdLife Discovery Centre at Newington. It's news time now, 1 o'clock.